atomic war, blast, heat, and initial radiation could kill millions close to ground zero of nuclear bursts. Many more millions, everyone else, could be threatened by radioactive fallout. But most of these could be saved. The purpose of our booklet, The Family Fallout Shelter, is to show how to escape death from fallout. Everyone, even those far from a likely target, would need shelter from fallout. Your federal government has a shelter policy based on the knowledge that most of those beyond the range of blast and heat will survive if they have adequate protection from fallout. This booklet contains building plans for 5 basic fallout shelters. One of the 5, the basement concrete block shelter, has been designed specifically as a do-it-yourself project. Solid concrete blocks are used to build it. Most people probably would need, however, the assistance of a contractor to build any of the other 4 types described in this pamphlet. The least expensive shelter described is the basement concrete block shelter. The most expensive is the underground concrete shelter. Savings usually can be realized if a shelter is constructed at the time a house is being built. Each of the shelters incorporates the fundamentals for fallout protection, shielding mass, ventilation, space to live. Each can serve a dual purpose: everyday living use, protection from tornadoes and other severe storms, in addition to protection from the fallout radiation of a nuclear bomb. There are means of protection, but that protection must be provided before, not after, the siren sound.
Why prepare a shelter now? Fallout can threaten more people than blast and heat in a nuclear attack. We do not want a war. We do not know whether there will be a war. But we know that forces hostile to us possess weapons that could destroy us if we were unready. These weapons create a new threat: radioactive fallout that can spread death anywhere. That is why we must prepare. The best protection is an underground shelter covered with at least 3 feet of earth or 2 feet of concrete, or an equivalent combination of the two. This will give you almost complete fallout protection. Here we see the construction of an underground concrete shelter. Upon completion of the excavation, steel rods are set before pouring the concrete foundation. Any massive material between you and the fallout will cut down the amount of radiation that reaches you. Sufficient mass will make you safe. Concrete or bricks, earth or sand are some of the materials heavy enough to afford protection by absorbing radiation. There is about the same amount of shielding in 8 inches of concrete, for instance, as in 12 inches of earth, 16 inches of books, or 30 inches of wood. shelter forms are set in place. An underground reinforced concrete shelter provides excellent shielding from fallout radiation. Shelters can be built as an added room to the basement of a home under construction. It would add about $500 to the total cost of the home. Few areas, if any, are as good as prepared shelters, but they are worth knowing about. A family dwelling without a basement provides some natural shielding from fallout radiation. On the ground floor, the radiation would be about half what it is outside. The best protection would be on the ground floor in the central part of the house. A below-ground basement can cut the fallout radiation to 1/10 of the outside level. The safest place is the basement corner least exposed to windows and deepest below ground. Be prepared to stay in your shelter full time for at least several days and to make it your home for 14 days or longer. Families with children will have particular problems. They should provide for simple recreation. After the concrete is hardened, the inner wall forms are removed. Forms are laid prior to the pouring of the roof section of the underground concrete shelter. Important considerations common to all shelters are 1. Arrangement of the entrance, 2. Ventilation, 3. Radio reception, 4. Lighting. The entrance should not be more than 2 feet wide and must have at least one right-angle turn. Radiation scatters somewhat like light. Some will go around a corner. The rest continues in a straight line. Therefore, sharp turns in a shelter entrance will reduce radiation intensity inside the shelter. Bunks and materials to build them may have to be put in before the shelter walls are completed. The basement or below-ground shelter also will serve for tornado or hurricane protection. Local civil defense will gather its own information and will receive broad information from state and federal sources. It will tell you as soon as possible how long to stay in your shelter, how soon you may go outdoors, how long you may stay outside. The steel rods are set, the concrete is poured, and the roof section is allowed to harden for 7 to 10 days. Lighting is an important consideration. A flashlight or electric lantern should be available for those periods when a bright light is needed. There should be a regular electrical outlet in the shelter as power may continue in many areas. outside walls should be waterproofed with 2 coats of hot-applied asphalt paint. Cover shelter roof with 2 layers of roofing felt cemented to the concrete and each layer with hot asphalt paint. Feet of earth is placed over the concrete shelter, then leveled preparatory to sodding. A blower is essential for the double-wall shelter and for the underground shelters. It should be capable of providing not less than 5 cubic feet per minute of air per person. Vent pipes also are necessary, but filters are not. At this point, the grounds are back to normal and ready for activity. This is a modern home. This is a prepared home in the nuclear age. The housekeeping problem of living in a shelter will begin as soon as the shelter is occupied. All shelters should include clothing, bedding, rubber sheets and special equipment for the sick, writing materials, reading materials, games and amusement for the children. Food, 2 weeks supply, eating utensils, paper plates, cups and napkins, openers for cans and bottles, first aid kit, and supplies. Battery radio with Conelrad frequency 640 or 1240 mark, and spare batteries for 2-week operation. Home use radiation meters when available, flashlight, electric lantern, and spare batteries for 2-week operation. Water, 2 weeks supply. Cans for garbage, 20 gallons. Covered pail for toilet purposes. Can for human wastes, 10 gallons. Firefighting equipment will be needed and also rescue tools. Toilet tissue, paper towels, sanitary napkins, disposable diapers, ordinary and waterless soap, grocery bags, newspapers for soiled bags, household cleaners, and DDT, and waterproof gloves. The underground concrete shelter will also provide space for many home activities such as a home workshop and a playroom for the children. No matter where you live, a fallout shelter is necessary insurance. It will not be needed except in an emergency, but in an emergency, it will be priceless as for life.